tell you something you don't know about the house. This is very interesting and it's totally successful. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Jon Hutman. I was the production designer on Nancy Meyers' film, It's Complicated. And today we're gonna talk about the house in that film. Please remember to like, subscribe, and if you have any questions or anything that you'd like me to talk about, feel free to reach out in the chat. It's Complicated was the fourth film that I made with Nancy Meyers. This one stars Meryl Streep as Jane Adler, who is a successful divorced woman. She runs a bakery. She's got 3 grown kids. She's got this very complete life, but she is single. She ends up having an affair with her ex-husband.
Shall we do some downward facing dog?
The challenge is making this film was recreating a house which is supposed to be in Santa Barbara on a soundstage in New York. We start first with finding a practical location in Los Angeles. The exterior of Jane's house, it's got this very golden California Spanish ranch house vibe. One of the things about a ranch house, rather than like the Father of the Bride house, California ranch house spreads across one floor. It's very specific, this house. The way you walk up to the front door, go inside, you're in the dining room, the living room is to the right, kitchen is to the left, and when you look out that kitchen window, there's that memorable shot of Meryl standing at the sink. You head back and there are other bedrooms which we don't see along the right-hand side. And then Jane's bedroom opens onto the backyard.
Very festive.
So all of that layout is determined by the location we found in Thousand Oaks. We designed a set that correlated with the action which Nancy had described in the script. We built the garden in front of the house. We built the interior on stage in New York. And then we begin the process of inhabiting that house. Beth Rubino, who was the decorator, has a deep understanding of Nancy's aesthetic. We also worked with James Radin, who designed the interiors of Nancy's personal house.
Your plans.
I'm so excited.
Part of what happens in this movie is that Jane wants to have a bigger kitchen. She's in the process of remodeling her house. A lot of people say, what does she need a new kitchen for? I think someone who's a cook would love more space and wall ovens and all of the things that she's gonna get in the sequel. There is no sequel as far as I know. That's what she wants to have. I'm fine with it.
Thanks.
We made the kitchen as small as we could, given that so many scenes of the movie take place in that kitchen. You really feel like this is somebody's personal kitchen that they cook in. She's got all of her well-used, well-loved copper pots hanging over the stove. This marble-topped island, which is super practical if you bake. A big Wolf stove and a big Charleston refrigerator, kind of commercial-grade appliances. It's a very functional space. But what you really notice, and this was a detail Nancy loved, to the left of the sink, there's this niche shelf where she has her beautiful ironstone plates, dishes, serving vessels. Between the dining room and the living room, there are what would have at one time been French doors with side lights. The doors are gone, but the side lights are still there. So the house is open, room to room, but you still feel the enclosure. You have the depth of seeing room connected to room. You also don't lose the sense of separation that keeps the house feeling so intimate and cozy. One thing that people do if you're in a makeover show on HGTV is they just knock out all the walls so your island ends up being in your living room. I hate that.
Got cold in the middle of the night.
What is lovely about this dining room are 3 key elements. The table is oval, but what I'm going to point out is it's not a Saarinen oval table, which narrows gradually. It's a rectangular table with semicircles at either end. And what that gives you is the generous depth of a rectangular table, but the softness, the curves at the end. And the table is that worn, bleached antique oak. The texture of that table is the source of the warmth of the house. The other 2 distinctive, memorable elements, the chairs which Beth Rubino had made. They are not spindleback chairs. They're a little bit square. There's a lovely curve to the arm. They are antique pieces, which because they're black and Scandinavian, they feel a little bit modern. So they have the warmth of an antique, but there's a nice counterpoint between the curve of the table and the squareness of the chair, but then the curve of the arm. The third element is the chandelier, which is a black wrought iron chandelier with a brass ball at the bottom of it. It's Spanish, but a little more elegant. It does not look like it came out of a mission. The marriage of those, and there's a charming little landscape painting on the side wall next to the kitchen. The fact that the dining room bridges the living room and the kitchen, and that you enter the house right into the dining room, it tells you the importance of gathering with friends and family. Love that dining room.
I am having an affair with Agnes Adler's husband.
The two key elements of this living room are this perfect couch. There is a wonderful depth to the seat. There's a curve to the arms. It's got these Belgian linen slip covers, down cushions. I might have mentioned I'm a big fan of the bench seat cushions. Rather than dividing your seat cushion into 2 or 3, you don't want to have a bench back cushion. You want to divide your back cushions and have a single seat cushion, but it's the huge coffee table. I love a large, oversized table that is rustic enough that you can put your feet up on it, but it's a table. You can put your dinner, wine, and cheese. It is a living room that you live in. And I love that the TV is in the armoire. People don't do that anymore because, but we used to do the TVs in the armoires. It's nice. No, mother! The bedroom has a very simple French headboard, linen with white oak frame. And it's a queen size bed, which is interesting. The bed does not eat the room. If you're a divorced woman in your 50s, a queen size bed is probably what's going on in your life. And I love that the doors to the adjacent bathroom are French doors. There's glass, there's some lightness, a 4-foot bathtub. There is a single glass door to the backyard. It separates the inside from the outside without losing the outside. People think that you need to have huge walls of glass, windows, accordion doors that I'm not such a big fan of.
We've already done it 2 times this week, and it's only Tuesday.
Courtyards are a defining element of the Spanish-style ranch house. That little space, which is an enclosed interior, but it's outside. I love that about the house. And the hallway to her bedroom goes by that courtyard. I hope in this house you never lose the connection between the interior and the exterior.
Okay. No, see? Too much.
Okay, good note.
Let's talk about that garden. Let's not leave the house before we talk about that garden. On movies, we have a greensman, and a greensman's job is to do all of the plants. And the garden was not there. We had to grow all of those vegetables off-site, transport them. The garden was very meticulously laid out. She's in the process of picking tomatoes. Where were the tomato vines going to be, and how ripe are the tomatoes, and wiring the tomatoes on the vine? All of that stuff gets designed and planned. That garden is another representation of who she is. It's beautiful, it's meticulous, it's well organized, and you can see that this is someone who has a vision that she is able to realize. I personally watched the movie and I'm impressed by that garden. What people don't know, and I even forget, that space where she and Adam the architect are meeting, that was on the location in Los Angeles. It was part of the actual location that we found. We built the interior set on a soundstage in New York where the space was limited. We did not have an extra 60 feet plus garages. That garage that you see over Meryl when she's at the sink is built half scale. That is what we call a forced perspective. The garage, the doors, even the tiles on the roof are all built at 1/2 scale.
Have you ever met Adam Schaefer? Yes.
No.
Here's the interesting thing about James Bakery. The question was, where are we going to create this? And what we ended up doing, we built that bakery inside the boathouse in Prospect Park. You never, as you notice, see the exterior of the bakery. The aesthetic that we really clicked into was this Dalesford organic aesthetic. You get it in that first establishing shot where you see this big open space and there's an eating area for people, but you can also buy organic produce and flowers flowers, and there's a counter with these baked goods. Nancy's always been interested in capturing atmosphere. Even though the bakery is large and beautiful, you can picture it appealing to the people who live in Santa Barbara. Erewhon didn't exist when we made this movie. Jane's Bakery, which still feels very contemporary, is the predecessor of today's Erewhon.
They must be hammered.
Another set which really jumped out to me was Lauren and Harley's house. And this is Nancy. Laurel is Jane's eldest daughter. She lives with her fiance, Harley, in this charming craftsman bungalow. This was a house in Pasadena, California. It belongs to a couple. They're interior decorators, and the house is charming. We only really shot the front exterior. The interior of the house and the back patio we built on the stage in New York. The setting, the movement, and the detailing inside the house, and the wainscot with battens painted white, and she is in a hallway that's lined with bookcases, and it's so warm and detailed and just believable.
Oh my God.
Orange is the accent color of choice for this film. The throw in the bedroom, and there's some orange pillows on the sofa in the living room. There are these pops of orange. In the family breakfast scene, which is on the porch in front of the kitchen, the cushions on that window seat are orange. And the dining room table has that vivid orange runner down the center of the table. It's warm, but it's a little bit bold. And I think that's who Jane is. She's not like shy warm. She's not afraid to have orange, which is a strong color. Take a look. Orange accents.
That looks amazing.
Nancy has this timeless aesthetic that we were really able to capture in all of the movies we've done, but specifically in It's Complicated. When you watch those films today, you absolutely still want to know these people and live in these houses. That is a testament to a very personal style of filmmaking and storytelling that people connect with as much today, maybe even more today, than when the movies came out. I'm sorry about, I'm on some thread here that people keep texting on.